With the MMF ecosystem absolutely blowing up over the last few days, are we looking at MMF actually making a comeback, or are we just looking at another market fake out? Hey, what is up everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Finance. Now, I haven't made an Finance video recently. On my YouTube channel, I did make lots of Finance videos before. However, with the market absolutely collapsing, the last video that I had made on Finance was the MMF debate addressing the good and the bad. Which I will have linked right above, guys. You can feel free to go and watch that. That was back on the 30th of May, so it's been well over 2 months now. And, I was terribly disappointed with the performance. The TVL went from $1.6 billion to now 100 million. I do believe it was under that as well for quite some time. And, a lot of people lost a good chunk of money. If you go over on the Reddit, if you join the Discord, the Telegram, you'll see that a lot of people did lose a lot of money. However, that's not what the video is about, and the layout of the video is actually going to be as such. The first thing we're going to do is look at the tokens that have recently been pumping and look at it from a more realistic approach. The second thing we're going to do is go over the mediums that have been provided to try to extract the most important elements from the medium. And the last thing we're going to discuss is my personal strategy on how I'm going to be playing this, or whether I'm going to be playing it at all, and telling you guys how I aim to make insane amounts of profits, which I have already been doing in MMF, but this time recognizing when it's time to exit. It is my duty to remind you all that none of this is financial advice, and you should always do your own research. So first things first, guys, obviously the MMF token, as you guys can see, it went as low as looks like about 2 cents, and since that price point we did obviously rally up a significant amount all the way up to about 8 cents, which is a 200% gain, which is basically a 3x from the bottom. So that's really nice, obviously, to see some price being recovered, and then of course on top of that we had all the other tokens actually pump, such as Savannah. You can see we had a huge pump here on Savannah from 1 cent all the way up to 9 cents. So that it was obviously huge gains for anybody that was able to get in at the bottom or near the bottom, about 700%. Similarly for Mshare, we went from a bottom of about $40 to $50, as you guys can see here, all the way up to approximately $300, about $500 to $600. And we see this happen across all their tokens, right? This is MAD, this is Hakuna, Burrow. We see all the tokens pumping a significant amount, and I want to discuss why this happened. But before I do that, I want to also kind of zoom out and show you guys that although this pump looks amazing and everybody has been extremely ecstatic, it is important to remember that this pump is actually nothing compared to where we were, right guys? So we were all the way up at 20,000, and from that point onwards it dropped down 99%. And although we're up multiple X's now, we're still down 99%. So although I am ecstatic, although I am trying to be positive about MMF, it is important to recognize the wrong that has been done and where the price stands. Now, a lot of individuals, such as myself, did indeed hold on to the tokens for a little bit longer than I wish I had held on for. However, I did take out profits along the way when I was going up top, and I did farm for both in Mshare and Savannah for a long period of time before this event happened, so I was able to secure some money. However, I do know that there was a lot of people that kind of invested near the top and they thought, hey, this is it, right? This is the opportunity I've been waiting for, and we're gonna get a lot of stable returns for a while, and that was obviously not the case as we went down 90%. This was one of those cases where it went down 90% and people said, hey, it went down 90%, can it really go lower? And it continued to go another 90% lower than that. So all in all, a lot of individuals did suffer. However, which is why I kind of do want to make sure people do recognize that we did have a pump, which is amazing and all, but that is obviously after coming down from huge price points, including the main one being MMF, which peaked out at about $1.88, all the way down to, as I said, 2 cents. So well over 99%. So obviously extremely catastrophic. Now, the second point that I want to discuss is why this pump is happening, and moreover, look over to the medium, because that is the reason. So on the 1st of August, there was a new medium that was released alongside announcements on their Discord, which I suggest you guys join if you haven't already. It's very important to keep up to date on recent events. And of course, if you guys aren't in the Crypto Degen Discord, I suggest you do that as well. We do talk about strategies and moreover all types of protocols such as Finance all the time. And I mean, it's a free place with like-minded individuals, so I don't see why you would not be a part of it. Now, here you guys could see that on the 1st of August, they made the announcement about going cross-chain. So as you guys can see here, they said despite the doom and gloom, team has been working. They've been continuously building despite the downturn. And now with the merge in sight, we are starting to see an Ethereum-led crypto rally. Just as our team places the finishing touches on our cross-chain development efforts, we are experiencing great tailwind from this exciting macro market environment. With this impeccable timing, we seek to launch a cross-chain deployment in the coming week. This is the point to take away from this, is that we'll probably be seeing the deployment coming up very soon, hopefully in the next couple of days once this video is out. And the reason for them to go cross-chain, and I'm going to try to summarize this to the best of my ability, is because they kind of want to put the MMF logo, or I guess their company, they want to put their recognition on all blockchains. They want to make it a household name, which is the point they make in number 1. And you guys can read into this a little bit more, but it just basically talks about how the protocol is going to go. This part is more important, that specifically they're going to have a new MMF token, and they're going to do this because they don't want to dilute the current MMF token. Well, you guys need to understand that at the end of the day, Finance is a DEX, and DEX tokens, as we know, are always diluted. They are not a limited supply, which means that they will be minted for the rest of eternity. If it's $1 or if they go down to 1 cent, it doesn't matter. They will still be emitted. There is no limitations, and of course, something that does not have a limit will overall always die to inflation. That's just the way these protocols work and tokens work. And the second point that they mentioned is that they want to bring a lot of serious projects from Cronos over to Polygon. And I think that's kind of good for individuals that were in these Cronos projects. You'll know how to play it once it goes on Polygon. But I'll discuss this more in the last element, specifically about strategies. The most recent medium that they posted was on August 4th, and this is the key part of this video that I do want to discuss. Here, so the first one they're talking about, will it not dilute the existing MMF supply? So here they're saying basically it's not going to dilute it because it's going to be a new token, not the same token. And a lot of people were saying, oh, wouldn't it add a lot of utility if the token was, bridgeable, if you could make the Finance token cross-chain. But obviously then you would suffer once again with the same issue of having two dexes printing the same token, hence it would get diluted like crazy. And we've seen lots of protocols suffer from that. The biggest ones in the scene, such as PancakeSwap, the cake token being diluted, VVS on Cronos being diluted absolutely to zero. And it's very difficult, even on Aurora, Trisolaris, their Tri token gets diluted. SpookySwap, the tokens get diluted. So overall, all DEX tokens basically get diluted because there is no limited supply. It is not limited, and as such, it will always suffer from inflation. Now, why deploy on Polygon if users are encouraged to stay on Cronos chain? We do not encourage users to do anything. However, at the end of the day, we seek to build out an even more resounding brand reputation in the entire fam. Today, you can ask any friends that actively use BSC, ETH, or Polygon, and they probably would not have heard of us. And they want to change that. They want to, as I said earlier, they want to make it into a household brand. Now, why don't want to bridge the same token? I already discussed that. How would you handle tokens listing in the future? At the end of the day, token listings are largely dependent on the scale and the volume that we can drive through our tokens and project. They're basically going to try to get on tier 1 centralized exchanges as well on Polygon. All right, I'm trying to skim through these things so you guys can kind of get the more important parts of it, and so that this video is not dragged on too long. I don't want to be reading all the information here, as that's something you can do yourself. And lastly, are there going to be any preferences from the dev team on other projects? They said no, they're going to be impartial. Now, one thing I did kind of miss at the bottom is that if you are holding MMF, METF, Savannah, or HKN tokens, you will be getting your portion of $6 million being distributed to you, which will be in MMF tokens, which I believe will cause Finance or the MMF token to have a nice dump again, because there's going to be 30 million tokens that will be emitted, or there will be 30 million tokens that will be given to random people who hold these tokens, who most likely have already suffered from significant losses. So, you know, what will these people do? They'll obviously try to dump the token so that they can get some money out of it. And that's okay, I guess. That's their kind of way of trying to give back to the community. I personally do not think that giving back in a token that is already suffering from inflation, you know, going from $1.85 to 7 cents, is necessarily the best way. Maybe they could have just distributed 6 million USDC to people, and maybe that would encourage people to use that USDC to buy those MMF tokens, instead of dumping the MMF tokens to extract that 6 million USDC to individuals' wallets. But I guess, what do I know, right? Regardless, we move on to the last part of this video, which is my specific strategy. You know, I am someone that has made a good amount of money with Finance, and I've lost a good amount of profits from Finance as well. I'm lucky enough to say that I've lost a lot of profits, whereas a lot of people lost a lot of money, their initial investments. And as such, I want to make sure that everybody, at least people that are in my Discord, know what to expect and know how to handle it. So make sure you guys join. The link is in the description. We do have a lot of people that are really focusing hard to try to make it so that we can all play the strategy properly. And I know for a fact there are a few laid out strategies that I'm going to focus on. Specifically, the number one, when the new Finance token, when the new MMF token gets launched on Polygon, I will probably be trying to buy that, just because of the fact that, remember, at launch it will not have a lot of supply, but because of the reputation that Finance carries and overall the following basis that it has, I imagine that it will have a lot of buy pressure. So I will be getting into that, most likely probably throwing my money into their Finance farm, which I assume will be MMF Matic. That will probably be their farms. And I don't know if you guys were a part of MMF at the beginning, but this APR was a lot higher. You're looking at 2 to 3% every single day. So I will try to play that to the best of my ability, while hopefully MMF tokens appreciates. However, that will only be 10% of the amount of money that I am going to allocate towards this strategy. The remainder of my money will go towards more stable pools, for example, the MMF USDC, and moreover the Crow USDC, or what will be the Matic Polygon USDC pool, I imagine, on Polygon. This pool at the beginning almost gave the same amount of APR as the MMF Crow pool and the MMF USDC pool. So I imagine that the the Matic USDC pool will give really high APRs at the beginning, and that's something I am willing to get into, you know, put a big bag of stables on it just to farm it out. The other thing is that I do believe that they are going to make their MUSD tokens cross-chain. And once that goes cross-chain, you could potentially see the ability to farm two stables. So have MUSD with USDC, for example, or such as this one where you can have MUSD with 3MM. Now this obviously is giving 15% APR, which is not the most lucrative. However, I do believe that once this a farm or a pool like this launches on the Matic version, because of the fact that the token of payment will be MMF, a token that will at the beginning have low circulating supply, hence a lot of price appreciation, the APRs on all of these pools should be very rewarding. So I personally will try to get into this. And I mean, if a lot of you do not like LPs, I definitely do suggest you check out the pools that they will have, which, bear in mind, will also earn good amount of APR. You will probably have the single staking pools for Matic, I assume, and potentially for Ethereum, since Ethereum is obviously, since Polygon is a layer 1 to Ethereum. Now, if they don't have that, of course, I would be careful of staking with their other tokens, and I would obviously play their launch pads. Now, this, whenever they do start their launch pads, which I do know they stated that they will bring over to the Matic network, I would play that at the beginning, just because, once again, I do believe that there will be that extreme amount of hype, with not only a lot of money coming back into DeFi. Like, if you guys, for example, have a look at DeFi Llama, you will see that there has been this fallout recently where we did kind of bottom out over here, and there has slowly been money that is flowing in. And I assume that is because of the fear and greed index, which is kind of slowly coming back up. It's not like at 8 or 9 anymore. It's at 30. So people have, accepted their losses. They had time to reset, and now they're looking to get back in. And that's what the MMF cross-chain is all about. They're trying to capture that audience that is trying to come back in, so that people can potentially make some gains, or at least that's what their intentions are, so that they can capture that market. Now, I do think that they will capture a large market, because of the fact that although their tokens have failed miserably for the large part, we do see that MM Finance themselves haven't like rogged or something like that specifically, right? They haven't shut down a project or anything like that. And I guess that's in one way a commendable element that they have. And who knows, maybe now on the Polygon network, they're actually going to change it up to actually address these issues that I had in my video, and a lot of other issues that were addressed throughout all these days, and that they can, and maybe they can make it a little bit better. Now, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards, and how I'm going to play the Polygon network. Obviously, as farms launch and as they launch their project, my strategy will adapt. I will keep you guys posted in our Discord as well as to what I'm doing. It's very, very important to remain vigilant on MMF and them going to Polygon, as your strategy should always be open to adapting. Because if you're trying to extract money from this market, if you're trying to make some money, you will have to be very strict. That is what I do realize, especially with the price of for example, Mshare going down to $40. People were saying there was no way it could go to $1,000, but then obviously we went under $1,000, and then we went under $100, and yeah, it was brutal, right? So definitely make sure you guys are playing this properly. Me personally, after I saw the announcement that happened on the 1st of August, I personally did get into a little bit at $120, so a little bit above here, and I did flip it at 300, as I did think that that was the peak, and it did peak a little bit above that around 310, but it was struggling and the volume was very low, so I did decide to sell my M shares. I am gonna maybe get back in a bit lower. Honestly, I'm not the most bullish, just because of the fact that I do not think that the protocol has the best track record, at least for when it comes down to price. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I want to know what you guys think and what your strategy is gonna be with Polygon coming up. Did you suffer from the Cronos MM Finance? And what do you think? Do you think things are going to be a little bit better? Have you made money from all of this? Or are you in the same boat as a lot of these people that just simply suffered for a long time with all the prices coming down? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm very curious because on our Discord, talking about Mshare or Savannah was strictly forbidden because of how much PTSD it brought to people. So I want to know what kind of good or bad things you guys have been facing, and what strategies you are looking to deploy for the Polygon network to ensure that you make your money and don't suffer the same consequences that we've seen many people suffer on the Cronos chain. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you all have an amazing end of the week. Stay safe, and as always, guys, let's get that bag. Peace.